It does. It gives you a real sense of amazement and accomplishment, definitely.
My name's Shelby Albert. I play guitar and sing. I'm from Valparaiso, Indiana, and that's a Chicago suburb, eastern, so we're in Indiana, but we're a commuter town. I found out about School of Worship actually for the first time I ever even heard it mentioned was from Jeremy Camp, and then after that, you know, I started thinking about it a lot more, and then it was like two of my friends, Lance and Elijah, who go here, they were set to go, and then my mom and me talked about it again, and then I got confirmation to go from the Word and because of my dad, who is not a believer, so I thought it was really almost miraculous that he was like, you should go. And I was like, oh, okay. Scott Cunningham's class it's so just full of information. It's crazy. I walk out of there every Thursday when we have the class, and it's like it's preparing you musically, but also I think the most important part of it is just everybody, especially like seeing everybody here, whether it's a teacher or a student, just has a heart to serve and is humble, and like whatever they're teaching you, you know that they're teaching you from a good place and because they want to see you grow in God and not because they're trying to puff themselves up. So I definitely say that humility, it's definitely taught, I think, everybody here how to be humble. I think that a lot of what we're learning, I mean, we've got classes that cover like wide areas of theology, but then there's also, we have a class on 1 Corinthians, which just like hones in on, you know, Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, and it's like dissecting it like that. It's making me more excited about my personal study, and I think personal study is a huge part of being in worship and like on a worship team or leading worship. Personal study, your personal devotional life, it's huge. And so I think that all these theology studies kind of just, it ties right back into what you do between you and God.
My name is Pankaj Sarkar. Actually, I'm from India, but I'm still like coming from straight from Nepal. I play kind of you know, a little everything, but you know, not very professional on each and everything. I play guitar, drums, bass guitar, keyboard a little. So yeah, and all the percussions instrument I play. So how I found about the School of Worship is some missionary, you know, from Calvary Chapel, not from Costa Mesa, but from West Group. They do the mission things over there, and they always ask me whenever they go to the village to lead me in the worship thing, because I was involved in the worship ministry. So that's how like when they see me like, hey, you should come to do the School of Worship, and you know, that was my heart. Like I was praying hard for to go somewhere to train myself and learn more about worship, so that I will go back and teach about worship to these people, so that I can you know, help these people out. Also, my wife, she also already been here in the School of Worship, so that's how I came to know about the School of Worship. So yeah, working in group is very fun, and is a different, you know, approaching the way to worship. And I found out that this is another class where we expect, like, you know, to build up yourself very musically, but it's like, you know, it's like when you come here, like you more humble yourselves, you know. Working with a group, yes, sometimes you'll have maybe very skillful people, you know, who knows better than you, and that's really help you to go, you know, more to excel on the things you don't know about it. And also working with the people, those who don't know about the instrument, and you have to be very patient and like, this is not about you, man, this is about God. So that's what I'm learning so much here. Like, it's not all about like playing instrument, it's something other, is a heart issue is here, you know, is loving the Lord, you know. That's what I'm learning when I dealing with the groups.
My name is John Randall, and I am the senior pastor of Calvary Chapel in San Juan Capistrano, California. I am one of the faculty that teaches at the school on a regular basis, and each one of the faculty has a different subject matter than which they address. Mine happens to be, or the title of my class is entitled Principles of Ministry. And in the class that I teach, I end up weaving in some of the things that a worship leader can expect if they work at a church. And we look at biblical examples. Right now we're going through the life of David and studying his life, and then we also talk about the practical aspects of ministry by observing the life of David. It is the goal for us really at the School of Worship that when the students come out, that they would be further equipped, whether in their local church or perhaps they may get a call to go to another church in some other state. We have some of our students who go on to help missionaries in other countries. So we want to do our best to prepare them and equip them so that they can be sent out. And from time to time we get calls from churches and people who need somebody to fill that role. And prayerfully, by the time they come through, they'll be prepared to do that. Musically and more importantly, spiritually, they'll be ready for that. For example, my own son, my oldest son, ended up going to the school and graduating from the school, and it really was a blessing to him. He further developed, and he was somewhat shy with his giftings, but going to the school really took some of that introvert and really brought it out. And it was just really cool to see him blossom. That's one of the things that you'll see in the School of Worship too. You'll see some students come in and they'll be a little bit hesitant and maybe a little bit shy about playing in front of people or singing in front of people. By the time they go through the program, they're part of the family. They just end up really making great friendships that last for a long time, and they develop not only musically, spiritually, but I think personally, they just blossom, and it's been wonderful to watch that take place in the lives of the students.
If somebody asked us, like, what is worship? I mean, we use the term worship all the time as kind of a Christian word, and it's a word that would kind of include a lot of things in our mind. If you think about what is worship, who do I worship, who is worthy of worship, those are all interesting questions to consider. But I think when you look at life and you look at, us as humans, we all worship something. We worship, something we bow the knee, we surrender the will to, we count as most valuable. And that thing that we count as most valuable is ultimately the thing that we worship. So as a Christian, we would say the most valuable thing is Jesus. He's the most valuable. He's the one who both, the Bible says, created the world and also saved the world. He came as a man, died on the cross for the sins of the world, rose again 3 days later, ascended to the right hand of the throne of God, and he is worthy of worship. We believe he is the Son of God. So we deem Jesus as the most valuable. So we'd say he is worthy of worship. He's the one that we bow the knee to, surrender the will to, follow, ask for wisdom, direction, protection, leading, provision, all those things that we would say is he's worthy of our worship. And I don't know if you've ever been to a church service that sings, the whole church is just singing about Jesus and worshiping God. It's one of the most amazing, powerful, moving moments when all these people, they're saying, I love God, I love the Lord, I'm praising him, I'm declaring his worth and how valuable he is to me. So that's what worship's all about. And I get excited about training guys, encouraging guys to be able to lead that in the church as the church gathers together. And the need is huge around the United States and overseas, just gifted musicians that have a heart that love God and want to sing to the Lord. So that's why we do the School of Worship.